Shalom, everyone. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. First of all, please let me know in the live chat how my audio is and if you can hear me. And also like the stream. We need more people to see this. And I don't know, guys, I'm gonna try to keep it together. I don't even know if I can, the level of disgust and rage that I'm feeling is not something that actually can be expressed. So I'm just gonna show you all the things that I went through, and Sarah sent me, and Susanna sent me. And again, thank you so much to Sarah and Susanna for helping me out with this. And I just need. I know most of you, like a lot of Israeli here, probably are already up to date with everything that has happened. But I want especially the non-Israelis in our audience, to see what Israelis are going to, and the evil that we're dealing here with. And I also want the people to understand that the evil that I'm going to show you today, I know it seems like Israel, this is Israel's problem, but I want the rest of you to understand that this evil wants to come for the rest of the world, and Israel is paying the price for it, because Israel is are the people who are standing in front of it. I just want you to understand the reason why we here on this channel, we support Israel is not just for the sake of Israel, and it's not just because of the price that they're paying. It's because the rest of the world would be paying such prices if they were not there fighting these monsters. And I just want the rest of you, to see the monsters that they are. And I promise you, I followed these people for the past 20 years. This is what they would do to the rest of you. And let me just play. This is Kfir. This is the baby that these monsters killed. And because I don't know if I could express the way that this needs to be expressed, I'm going to basically be showing you a lot of videos and other people's takes on this. And we're just going to review all of this together. And at the beginning, I'm just going to bring everyone up to date, maybe the people who have been following it. So let's just first look at Kfir and his father before this nightmare happened, and look at this beautiful family. All right. Before I go and show the monsters, let me actually bring everyone up to date regarding what happened. Okay. So this is Ariel and Kfir. Ariel and Kfir Bibas. This is about the Bibas family that this happened to. This is for people who don't know. This was part of the hostage release regarding the ceasefire that was negotiated with Hamas. But again, a lot of people expected them to both, and the rest of the family except the father, maybe be dead, but people were hoping maybe not, and then eventually it was confirmed. So let me just read these instead of just explaining them myself. Ariel and Kfir Bibas were murdered by terrorists in cold blood. The terrorists did not shoot the two young boys; they killed them with their bare hands. Afterwards, they committed horrific acts to cover up these atrocities. There are no words left in the dictionary. So for people who don't know what happened, is they killed them with their own bare hands, and then they lied about how they died. They were trying to blame Israel for killing them during the bombardment of Gaza. So after the forensic investigation shows that after they killed them with their own hands, they use, I don't know, some blunt force or something to keep smashing their bodies in a way that made it look like they died under bombardment, which is so. It's other than evil, it's just stupid for Hamas not to realize that forensic investigations will be able to figure out what happened to them. And I just, guys, I cannot understand, really. I cannot, like, the mind. Look at these pictures. Look at them. Think about a mind that is capable of using their own bare hands to slowly take the lives. I don't understand. This ideology, like, a lot of people say that, oh, you guys are dehumanizing people, we shouldn't dehumanize them. And honestly, it's hard. It's like they dehumanize. Hamas dehumanizes themselves. It's really hard. And again, let me just tell you, all the people, all the pro Hamas or the pro Palestinian cause people that were celebrating the idea that Israel is being defeated in the minds of people around the world. Because they were constantly losing, like always in battle, because they're pathetically weak. So they had to pretend like they're winning ideologically, and they're turning the world against Israel. What did I say? I would say, like, yeah, that part is not going to last long. You guys are such monsters. All of that investment in trying to make people hate Israel. Look at with this. You lost all of that. You lost all of that in one day. Let me just bring you up to date for people who don't know how we got here. This is like on October 7th. This is the moment they were taken. This is the mother. The mother died. So all of these people, all of them, the mother and her two kids that you see, this is the moment on October 7th when they were taken hostage. This is before they died. This is how the Bibas family were kidnapped and taken from Israel. So this is an older tweet. It says, tomorrow they will be brought back in body bags, monsters. So watch this. This is look at the stress the mother was feeling at that moment. And again, you can see how the stress, like, this is before the mother. This is before the mother realizes that the two babies that she's holding in her arms are going to be slowly murdered by these monsters that are kidnapping this entire family. So watch this. All right, guys. After we go over how we got here, I am going to show you how Hamas released the bodies and how the most insane takes, and also some maybe justified reactions by Israelis. And also, like, I don't, for the people who weren't following these in the past few days, this was every hour we got a new update that it was nightmare after nightmare after nightmare. So I was saying it was still calm and good, boys, even after they were being kidnapped. So this is their picture together, saying it is Dr. Eli David is saying forensic evidence confirms that both Kfir and Ariel babies were first choked to death by Palestinians with bare hands. Their bodies were then mutilated with rocks to simulate death by bombardment. Information released with the permission of their father, Yarden Bibas. And again, their father, I don't even know the hell that the father went through. Because correct me if I'm wrong, because the father was also taken hostage. And then when he was released, if I remember correctly, he didn't know that. I think he expressed happiness to return to his family because he didn't know that his family has been murdered. And then he realized that he's not returning to his family, and now he's getting updates regarding how they were killed. So let's look at the way. Oh no, he was Elisha. Okay, okay. So thank you. So sorry, what did I say wrong? If I said something wrong, correct it like completely, so that I could read the whole sentence so I understand it. By the way, thank you guys for the support. Amir saying thank you, Amit, for supporting us, and also again, Amit is saying thank you again. And Jackie, that's very generous. Thank you, Jackie, saying from Australia, those poor babies. Oh yeah. Thank you, Jackie. Yes, I appreciate the support. Anyways, let's look at this video. Look at this. So let me read you the caption before I. And again, I want to thank Susanna for sending these to me, and I also have some videos from Sarah that I will show as well. So Hamas has turned the return of the bodies of 4 slain Israeli hostages into a sickening and grotesque public display. Music played and children watched as the coffins were paraded past vile anti-Semitic posters. Once again, Hamas has shown the world its depravity and evil. So watch this. Look at the show they out of returning this family, their bodies. Look at the coffins. Look at watch this. Oh, so Yardel Bibas knew his family was kidnapped. It was Eli. Okay, sorry. It was Eli Sharabi who didn't know. Okay, sorry. Thank you so much, Sarah, for correcting me. Okay. Look at them. Look at this evil motherfuckers. Look how like they're using these dead bodies like it's like trophies. They're actually playing celebratory music. Guys, I'm gonna show you the level of anger people and Israelis and other people are expressing regarding this around the world. And I don't know if these people understand the hell that they just unleashed upon Palestinians for doing this. They're actually, guys, this is actually celebratory Arab music that they're playing in the background. Do you hear that? What the fuck? All right, let's go. Look at this one. So look at listen to the read to this caption. This actually caption is very actually telling. It says this video will force Israel back into war. Let's watch the video. See. They're clapping. They're clapping and celebrating. What the fuck? Again, I don't know if this song is copyrighted, so I'm going to pause here and there. Maybe I should just mute it just for the sake of copyright, huh? Yeah, and the crowd cheers. I will show you some of the cheering. It's actually so wild. It gets worse. It gets worse. Look, this is the Red Cross just completely cooperating with this fucking nightmare. Guys, I heard reports that they locked the coffins. Let me know if this is correct. Gene is, I know, is in the live chat, providing, Gene and Sarah providing fact checks for me. I heard that they locked the coffins, and they provided, with when they handed the coffins to the Red Cross, they provided the wrong keys to the locks. Is that correct? Okay, this is, yeah. People are saying yes, that's correct. Fucking murderers. All right, let's watch this one. It keeps actually, let me read the caption of this first, because these tweets were picked not just because to show you the videos, but because some of them were picked by Susanna because of the captions. Okay, the ones that I think express what's happening the best, some of them, right? So Sarah Ibrahimi here saying, how can anyone possibly sympathize with those who participated in the sadistic parade of 2 dead babies solely because they were Jewish? You claim Israel killed their children. Let's go with your argument. Did they abduct a 9-month-old and a 4-year-old along with their mothers? No. Did they bring them back to Israel and execute them? No. Have they ever displayed the corpses and cheered them on? Absolutely not. I simply cannot feel any compassion for these people. Even if Israel begins bombing all of Gaza, this is a sick society. If the majority of Gazans were against such actions, Hamas wouldn't be in power. Gazan children sadly die in wars their adults waged, and as a result of their actions. Guys, I constantly try to find ways to find people in Gaza or in Palestine and try to humanize them, try to find the exceptions, try to, because even if it's a minority, I feel sometimes like this is the only hope that we have to finally solve the situation, right? But you have to admit this is like, first of all, it's difficult. And also, I wouldn't blame any Israeli for saying fuck you to attempts like that. Because I know I wouldn't be able to do that if this happened to my family. Like, this is a bizarre expectation to ask for any society that is experiencing something like this. And I also want to, again, I know maybe it's not logical, but who the fuck can expect other people to be logical in a moment like this? This is a fucking hell. They make it so difficult. And it's, I mean, I'm not going to blame any Israeli if they say things that you want to sit here in your safety and security kilometers away from the people who are experiencing this, are like, well, we shouldn't say that. Well, fuck you. You're not in the middle of it. You don't understand what this feels like. Again, I say that as somebody who advocates for that, because again, I want to be pragmatic. I understand that, but I say that as somebody who is not being, this is not happening. It's easier for us to say. I mean, it's so hypocritical for the other people who say like, well, what do you expect from the people in Gaza? They experience this and this and that. This is the natural, what they're doing is the natural response to their experiences. Well, if you want to play that fucking game, then why wouldn't you say that the same thing for, I mean, this is intentional. People keep saying that the Gazans experience this and this and that. The IDF didn't go for their babies with the intention of killing their babies. Do you understand the difference? Do you understand that when Gazan babies die, it's because they were put in the way on purpose? But when Israeli babies die, it's because somebody was was determined to kill an Israeli baby. Do you understand the difference here? And in such a way, I mean, this caption, this Sana Ibrahimi, I think, put it so perfectly. I don't need. There doesn't need much more explanation here. Let's watch this video. You guys have the audio from the videos that I'm showing you, right? Look at the crowd. See, this is why this video is why it's so difficult for people like me and others to come and say, like, oh, let's separate Hamas from the people, from the Palestinians. And I wouldn't blame, I mean, I still would say that, but I would also completely understand if an Israeli comes to me and says, fuck you for saying that. I would not blame that. I would not blame somebody who says, an Israeli who says that to me. I completely understand why they would say that to me. Look, they're whistling, they're clapping, they're celebrating. These are dead babies in the coffin that your government had guys, let's say some of these, let me steal, man. Let's say many of these people think like, oh no, we didn't kill them. It was Israeli. They think that Israeli bombardment killed them. They all know that they kidnapped babies. Who the fuck kidnaps babies and takes them for hostage? Even if you're somebody who thinks that, oh no, Hamas didn't kill them, even though the forensic investigation shows that it was them who killed them, right? Hamas or other people who think like them. The lines are not that clear anyways, right? You still, these people, all of them, do have the knowledge, do have this understanding that they went there and kidnapped a mother and her children, one of them being a baby, bringing them to an environment with the understanding that Israel is going to bombard this area. And we're going to use these as human shields. Even the most steelman understanding of what has happened here makes every single person here that is celebrating this act a monster. Absolute disgusting evil. Yeah, some people in the chat are saying the civilians took Shiri, not Hamas. I mean, can you tell me the difference when you say the civilians took them and not Hamas? Like, this is why I kind of understand Israelis when they see a lot of this as the same. Like, what is the line? Many of these civilians shout that we are all Hamas. Can you tell me the difference between some of these civilians and Hamas when you say it was the civilians, not Hamas? Yeah, and people are saying it's getting harder to differentiate. Let me finish this video. This next video is so infuriating. I don't even know if I have the stomach to watch it again. So the caption for this one says, cultural relativism is a lie. And the caption by Israel says, "Children in Gaza today celebrating the murder of 4 Israeli civilians." No words. So watch this video. This one, I have no words for this as well. I don't know. If you guys have any words, let me know. I don't know. I don't even have any words to describe what is happening here. Do you guys know what to say? I don't know what to say. This is so fucked up. This is so fucked up. Let's do more of these. Wait, let me see. Let me actually highlight some of your. So great red menace is saying, Armin, it's even worse. Yarden was captured first. He left the safe room to prevent his family being captured. He didn't know they were hostages. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I don't know if that's accurate, but thank you so much, Great Red Menace. And we will get to that. We will get to some horrible things and some justified anger. Great Red Menace saying, Armin, this isn't new at all. Search for Nahariya attack in 1979. Al Jazeera celebrated the perpetrator's birthday, and sorry guys if I pronounced these wrong. The Fogel family murder in 2011. Yeah, I mean, I know this isn't new, but this is the most recent. So, I mean, so let me actually go to this one. But thank you for the support. So, Ahmed here is saying, here's a propaganda video by Hamas capturing the extent of the crowds at the site of the hostage release in Gaza today. These displays are meant to mask Hamas's weakness and exaggerate the supposed level of support for the terror group. 150 terrorists, 500 to 600 civilians. I don't know. Well, let's see what the video says. Okay, I'm not gonna play the music because it's probably copyrighted. Look at the celebration, the celebratory nature of this. I mean, guys, I don't want to say like this is. Other days, I might have said like, look, this is what percentage of Gaza is this? I mean, look, they're bringing people into a area and zooming in and making the crowd look bigger than it is, right? But to show that they have a higher number of support than they do, statistics, but I don't think this is the time for that. I think the time right now, the anger that the Israelis are experiencing, I think that the time is right to just validate their anger and support them in their anger, because their anger is completely justified and completely valid, and I think this is not the time for that. Tori, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate your support. Let me actually show you this one. Okay, so look at the caption. First of all, this is in response to someone else. Muhammad was saying one of the problems with Western allies, and okay, so I think this is a pro-Palestinian person, right? Let me actually see the full tweet. One of the problems with Western allies, and I say this in earnest, is their refusal to integrate their ethnocentrism. What happened in Gaza was a funeral procession, and it is how Arabs, not only Muslims, have handled the dead for years. I wish we had the luxury to give our 60,000 martyrs the funerals they deserve, holding their coffins on our soldiers instead of being forced to wrap them up in plastic bags and dumping them in mass graves. So this guy is gaslighting you because a lot of people saw the celebratory nature of what happened, and this guy is trying to say like, oh, this is what we do for and this is a fucking lie. I've seen the funerals. It doesn't have such a celebratory nature. It's actually this fucking bullshit. Okay, this is fucking bullshit. And the reason why they were doing this is not because they were like respecting these days. They were actually celebrating. They were treating them like trophies. And this person actually came and called this bullshit out. So this is Yusuf saying, handled the dead. They fucking wrote on the coffin's date of arrest. Yes, the date that Hamas kidnapped Shiri and her babies, and then later killed in the date, and later killed in the date of the arrest. Arrest for what? I'll tell you, for being Jews and Israelis. This is not the Arab culture. In fact, people like you are embarrassing for our culture. So I think Yusuf is an Arab himself, and saying that is calling him out that this is not what Arabs do in funerals. Okay, and you are an embarrassment to Arab culture. So this is one Arab calling another Arab out, right? Saying this is not the Arab culture. In fact, people like you are embarrassing for our culture. You guys are scum of the Arab flock. So look, Tarikh again, I speak Persian, not Arabic, but I can sometimes read it a little bit. Tarikh al Itiqal, I think. So basically, it's calling the date of arrest. They're marking the date of the date that they captured them as date of arrest on their coffins. This is absolutely a trophy. Yusuf Haddad, yeah, this is absolutely a trophy. They're celebrating the arrest date, the capture date on the coffins. Arrest for fucking what? Date of, so people are saying the translation is date of arrest. Date of arrest? What the fuck? This is insane. Is this Arab culture? This is Arab culture? Like, oh, the West, these are Western. So, by the way, this original tweet is an admission of losing Western allies. Like the people, this Muhammad guy is noticing how many people are turning on them because of this. And they're like, oh, we cannot rely on our Western ally. Yeah, Heavy Gretel is saying by arrest they mean abduction. Yeah, exactly. And by arrest, as if they had, as if she committed a crime. What was her crime for arresting her? This is absolutely fucking disgusting. But before I show you some videos that Sarah brought up, Susanna wanted to make sure that we don't forget. So Susanna is amazing, by the way, guys. Susanna is amazing. So Oded Lifshitz, right? Is that? Am I sorry for not pronouncing this properly? Because I mean, we have to remember the babies, the children, the mother, the family, but let's not forget the father, the grandfather as well. Again, I'm gonna play this. He was also. So let me know if there's any details regarding him that you guys want me to share, but he was also killed. I mean, his body was also being returned, right? But and Susanna wanted to make sure that we don't forget him. So the caption says, but again, I'm sorry if Oded Lifshitz, again, sorry if I'm pronouncing these wrong. A beloved husband, a father, a grandfather, a peace activist, a good man, R.I.P. A peace activist, guys. These Hamas was killing people who were actively trying to bring peace between Palestinians and Israelis. These are the people that Hamas killed. So yeah, so keep this caption on, keep this comment on, Sarah. So thank you, Sarah, for noticing. You're saying Oded helped Palestinians to get into hospitals in Israel. He used to go to the border and take them to the hospital. That's what that, and they killed him. Fuck. Watch this. Again, I'm gonna have to mute the song in case it has copyright. Oh, LF is saying he regularly drove Gazans to hospitals for their appointments. This is who they killed. Unfucking believable. I mean, I like, ever since this has happened, I can't, like, this is a nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare. I cannot believe that this is happening. Again, let me just mute the music. Holy shit, how is this even possible? How is this even possible? Let me actually show some anger. How some people are reacting to this. Let me actually bring them up. By the way, but while I bring these up, I just want to also mention that Iranian social media was filled with messages of support and sadness, and many of the posts by Israelis, you could see in the comment section that many Iranians were all there and commenting and expressing their sympathy and support. And also, there's a statement. Sarah sent me a statement by Prince Joseph Pahlavi that I will show as well. But let me show you some. This person, Ben. Let me actually see who this guy is. So he's in international relations. He goes, I think, to Harvard Law, MBA, Tel Aviv University. Okay. So, oh wait, actually, let me first show what he said before. So, give me a second. Yeah. So again, just YouTube, some of the reactions that I'm going to be showing, just to make it clear, I'm not endorsing it. I'm not agreeing with them. I'm just going to show you what the level of anger. All right, and you guys could decide what you think about it, right? So Ben here is saying, I so desperately want to bomb Gaza myself. Every inch. They can be warned before I bomb it if you believe they deserve time to run for their lives. But they must run out of Gaza and go into Egypt or into the sea, and then all who remain must go into the ground. Okay? And then he had so many Palestinians coming into this comment section attacking him. And then he responded, a couple of Palestinian freaks are calling me N-I-G-G-E-R in the replies. Do you subhuman bastards think I care? I would rather be a N-I-G-G-E-R than be a Palestinian. So let's look at some. Carlos here saying, today we grieve, tomorrow we delete Gaza. Again, just please understand, YouTube, that I am just reporting the anger a lot of people are experiencing. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just showing you what people are feeling. This is again what, in response to a lot of the pro-Palestinians cause saying, "Oh, what did you expect after October 7th?" You know, I'm not going to say, "What did you expect?" And this is why I'm telling you that Hamas and the ideology as a whole is a curse upon Palestinian people themselves. What do you think is going to happen next? You had your celebratory music while really, with using these dead bodies of babies as trophies. What do you think is going to happen next? Do you not understand how united Israel is now going to be in bringing hell to Gaza? So a lot of people, so this whole glass thing is being mentioned many times. People, I will show you more reactions that will put this into context. I don't know if people understand here, people non-Israelis in our audience understand what Kahanism is. And again, thank you, Susanna, for getting me this material. But Kahanism is something that used to be considered taboo in many discussions, and now a lot of peace activists in Israel, many Israelis who consider themselves peace activists and in favor of two-state solution, are now going full Kahanist. Am I pronouncing this right? And Kahanism is basically um, a much more radical and aggressive approach to the Palestinian problem. And what we're seeing is after October 7th, and now after this event, many people I see Israelis that are asking forgiveness for thinking that Palestinians deserve a chance, that they are going full Kahanist, right? So look, this person is saying, me on October 6th, 2023, I was like this, like basically saying I was peace activist and blah blah blah. And now they're going full Kahanist. So the picture of that man responsible for this ideology in the picture, and going full radical, holding his written material. And also apparently Kahanism also is the idea of a greater Israel, right? Just make this whole area Israel. So yeah, people are saying it's a very radical position. Okay, so Sarah is saying remove the user who you'd have. Let's see. If Sarah says you need to be removed, then you must be removed. Sarah would not say. Sarah, are you not an admin? I think Jean and Sarah both are supposed to be admins. Okay, I removed. Sarah, I removed it. I'm not. Okay, Sarah, say something. I will make you admin. Post something in the chat. I will make you admin. All right, let's look at more Kahanism. So, again, I know this is a really good poster, but I can't. I'm not either. How are you? How is Jean not an admin? What the hell? Guys, I'm going to make you admins. Sorry, let me give me a second. I have to make both Jean and Sarah admins in the chat so that they could get rid of the fucking garbage that sometimes shows up here, especially in this moment. Especially in moments like this. Guys, can you, Sarah and Jean, can you both comment again? I will make you admins because I don't now that I opened the chat, it's not showing up. Anyways, let me, while you do that, oh, there we go. Shalom, shalom. Add as a moderator. And Jean, do that as well. And I will make Jean. Sarah is now a moderator. Okay. So Neo, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, right or wrong. Sorry about that. Saying this is the Middle East, not the Middle West, and that's what the Arabs know and understand. If you're good, you're not good. You're weak, and if you're weak, you're dead. And this is a quote by Mir Kahan. Am I pronouncing his name correctly? Kahan. And they're quoting this radical Israeli guy that, again, I'm just reporting. I'm not endorsing this man or his views. I'm just saying that the result of what Hamas and many Gazan civilians are doing is making a lot of Israelis move to this direction. And I just want you guys to know how, if we get to a position where more, if you notice some Israelis were like, oh yeah, let's be nice, and now you're saying more and more of them maybe be like, no, fuck that, forget all of that. I just want you guys on this channel to know whether you agree with it or don't agree with it. I just want you guys to know how it all happened. Okay, so both Jean and Sarah are now admins in the chat. Sorry, guys. The reason why I haven't done this already is because I thought I already had done that. I apologize that I didn't make Jean and Sarah admins already. Okay, let's go to Ofra. Ofra is saying blue pilled me pre-October 7th. So the Orpha used to have this use. She was saying, oh, poor sweet Palestinians just need the support of the international community and a state of their own. And then she got red-pilled after October 7th, saying Hamas must be destroyed, but I am crying for the innocent civilians in Gaza. Once Hamas is removed, a Palestinian state should be established. And now she's black-pilled, saying me 500 days after October 7th. This is her view now. Expel all Palestinian civilians and drop them on the moon turn Hamas to glass, salt the earth in Gaza, build Trump Riviera, annex Judea and Samaria, third temple, no Palestinian state. The civil Nazi ideology of Palestine must end. This is the progress she has had. This is her view changing through this time. Again, this is more people posting, becoming more Kahanist. This is the man's book and his views. You know, if you guys want to keep justifying Palestinian radicalism because of their experiences, then please be consistent. If you, I never justified that, but if you're one of the people who are like, well, we understand why Palestinians would do such things, then please also understand Israeli radicalism. Please show your understanding with regards to that as well, I guess, if that was your excuses. Again, Amir, I'm not justifying any of this. I'm just saying that this is what's happening. I'm just reporting what's happening, just so that people who are celebrating the pro-Palestinian cause, I just wanted to see the results of what they're supporting. Please don't think that I'm, you know, I've been trying to do the very opposite. I'm just reporting on what's happening. Asaf is saying, I'm so fucking angry right now. Congratulations to the Palestinian resistance for the revival of Kahanism. You low IQ inbred motherfuckers have guaranteed you'll never return home, and returning to Gaza is a maybe at best. You reap what you sow. Let me actually play two videos from Elikal Lebon. I know I pronounced her name wrong. Sarah sent these to me because I think she's really good at describing. So this was before we realized that the babies were either strangled to death or killed with their literally with their bare hands in some other way. People are saying it's most likely strangulation, but we'll see if there's any updates on that. But this was, I have one video Sarah sent me from before and one video after we realized that. So let's play that first.
So I just got to my hotel in Toronto and I heard the news about the Bibas babies who have now been confirmed dead. And their dead bodies are going to be returned by Hamas tomorrow. And I know that from here on out, we're going to hear every single excuse in the book that there should have been a ceasefire deal sooner, and there should have been a hostage deal, and there should never have been a war, and Jews should never have returned to the land, and what about the occupation? Everything. Except the one thing that this morally bankrupt world should have said on October 7th. Which is that terrorists should not be kidnapping babies. And it is that failure. Just no. It is that abject failure to do the right thing, to say the one thing that needed to be said from the beginning. That is exactly why Hamas has benefited for the past 16 months, and babies have suffered. Because for the past 16 months that you've been watching these protests out there saying, kill the hostages. Hamas, Hamas, we love you. We support your rockets too. Jews, go back to Poland. All of it, all of those 16 months was 16 months that those Bibas babies were underground in tunnels relying on you to be their voice. And where were you? Where were you? Where you were was saying, who are we to judge how a people resist? I'll tell you who we are. who we are is society. We are quite literally the people who judge the standards of violence and morality. That is what we do. But you know what? Based on the past 16 months, maybe you aren't the people to judge. Maybe you are the people to be judged. Because if, as a society, we can't find it in ourselves to say the one thing that counts, which is that terrorists shouldn't be killing babies, and as a result of that failure to say the right thing, these babies, their bodies are coming home dead tomorrow, just know that their blood is not just on the hands of the terrorists that kidnapped them. Their blood is on the hands of a failed society that is against everything except the terrorists that killed them.
Let me show you another video of them, of this beautiful, beautiful family, and then go to another video by, again, sorry for mispronouncing her name, Elikal. Again, after a video after she realized how they were killed. So watch this. All right, let's go back to Elikal. Let's see how she responded to this.
What game I'm no longer playing. Can I tell you what game I'm no longer playing? After learning today that the Bibas babies were choked to death with bare hands, and then their bodies were mutilated with rocks to make it appear that they died by bombardment. Can I tell you what game I'm no longer playing? I'm no longer playing the what about game. You know why I'm not playing the what about game anymore? Because I'm done pretending that all of this isn't on Hamas. Because on October 7th, when Hamas invaded Israel and slaughtered 1,200 civilians, including children, not just the Bibas babies, we watched it on those GoPro cameras, they didn't just invite a retaliation, they demanded a retaliation. You know how they did that? By kidnapping those civilians, those babies, and taking them back to Gaza. And because they did that, they are the cause of the ensuing war. And I'm going to explain to you why this is true by the principles of causation, which includes but-for cause and proximate cause. The but-for cause means that if it was not for Hamas's actions on October 7th, there would be no resultant war on October 8th. Because Hamas are the but-for cause of the war that ensued on October 8th, Hamas are responsible for the casualties, for the death and destruction that ensued on October 8th. Proximate cause means that those deaths, that destruction would have been foreseeable to Hamas when it committed the atrocities on October 7th. Because that death and destruction was foreseeable to Hamas when it committed those atrocities, Hamas are responsible as a proximate cause for the death and destruction of the resultant war. The other thing this morally confused world can't seem to figure out is that while all deaths are the same, all killings are not the same. Our criminal justice system does not center around death, it centers around killing. Killing is to do with the intent of the killer. So when you say, what's the difference between this and this? The difference is in the killing. Yes, all deaths are the same. They come with the same suffering. They come with the same mourning. They come with the same loss. They come with the same heartache of the parents, of the family. All deaths are the same, you're absolutely right. But all killings are not the same. But all of it, same or not the same, is on Hamas. All of it is on the jihadists that have been doing this to the Middle East for 1,400 years. You're right. You're absolutely right. It didn't start on October 7th. You know when this began? It began in 622 AD. And we, the indigenous people of the Middle East, including the Bibas babies, including the half Yemenite, half Ashkenazi babies, both indigenous to the Middle East, are still paying the price for jihadism. 1400 years. You are goddamn right. This didn't begin on October 7th.
This is very powerful. By the way, guys, you should be following her. Everywhere she is, you could pronounce her name at ELICALEBON. So you could find her on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. So make sure you're following her. She has some of the best takes. I don't know what this video of her is about. I just saw she had another video. So I want to make sure that we cover that, if it's relevant to cover that as well, because she has such good takes. And then I will read some of your super chats. Let me see if this is relevant, because I just saw she posted another video.
Iranian woman here. It's become very apparent that you haven't been listening to anything that we've had to say for the past 2 years. But I was wondering if you could just lend me a few minutes of your time in this ungodly hour to hear us now. We've had to watch over the past 24 hours people clambering onto the internet to exclaim that Iran has the right to defend itself. In what capacity have you distorted this story to make the Islamic Republic the victim? That's I think what we're most curious about. When we were screaming for the past 2 years that they were lynching us, where were you? When we were screaming that they were killing Iranian women for not wearing a hijab, where were you? When they were lynching Iranian men from cranes for protesting, where were you? When we were explaining that this is a terror...
Okay, so this is more about Iran. So I'm not going to play the rest of it, because today we're focusing on Israel. However, I just want to make sure that people, now that she mentioned that, I just wanted people to understand here that the Iranian issue is not separate from this for 2 reasons. Okay, because the problem comes from Iran, and part of the solution to all of this also comes from Iran. I want people to Israel to understand this. I'm not saying this just because I'm Iranian myself. Okay, the nightmare that you're all experiencing comes from Tehran. Hamas is only a tentacle of the nightmare that comes from Tehran. If it wasn't Hamas, it would be something else. Even if you completely destroy and annihilate Hamas, that would not be the end of your nightmares. There will be something else in its place. As long as the regime in Tehran is still in power, there will be something else with a different name, a similar excuse. If you want this nightmare to end, you have to go and target the head of the beast. The problem comes from Tehran, and the solution also comes from Tehran. Because one of your, again, I don't want to exaggerate by saying this is the only weapon, but it's one of the most important weapons that you have against this monster is the Iranian people. I don't want to dismiss the importance of military winning in battle. It is a major part of winning, is exactly what you're doing by crushing your enemies in the battlefield. It is I don't want to belittle it. It's very important, and you're doing an amazing job at it. But it would be so much more effective if you also invest in the Iranian people against the regime. Let me actually go to this take. This is Susanna sent me this. Susanna, let me see how she labeled this. So she's saying this one is, hold on, let me make sure I got this correctly. Okay, so this it comes with this picture. This is important, guys, because we need to see if the effects of what just happened is happening is going to get us somewhere to not have to end this nightmare at some point, right? So Susanna marked this as an interesting news from of Arab plan for Gaza. Oh, by the way, let me actually read your super chats before I read this. Gigi is saying Israeli conservatives, because I have heard some explain from experience that Arabs respect Jews who defend all Holy Land, don't respect Jews who give away Holy Land, who are in serious on core basis. Um, Again, so we have Arabs are different, but there are certain cultural, there are some cultural aspects of this that does make certain views more prevalent than others. I don't know if I would say it specifically. I feel like if you're talking to a conservative, they're making it about Holy Land because they see it about Holy Land. But if I wanted to be more general and more precise, I would change it a little bit. But in the Arab culture, they just respond better to somebody that exerts strength. Like in, it doesn't necessarily like I think they because many we have secular Arabs, we have pragmatic Arabs, we have religious Arabs. It's not necessarily about maybe the religious ones or the ones who are obsessed about Holy Land stuff. I think many Arabs are not are more and more we're having Arabs, especially in Gulf country, Gulf, Persian Gulf Arab countries, that are thinking more within economic terms and stability terms rather than Holy Land. But even the ones who are not thinking in terms of Holy Land, they do respond better to somebody who just demonstrates strength rather than negotiations and appeasements, right? So I don't know if it's necessarily about Holy Land, but it is true that you would get much better results if you just demonstrate strength and being bold and not taking shit and not doing appeasement or negotiate, like just winning through victory, not through just negotiations. You have to get the other side to submit before you talk to them. This is why many people think that Trump's way of dealing with this whole situation works better for Middle Eastern culture. Because if the other side has leverage and then you talk to them, then you're going to lose. You have to take away all their leverage before you come to the table, because you have to make sure they have nothing before you sit on the table with them, so that they have no choice but to accept all your terms. And I mean, I'm talking about the Arab states. I'm not talking about Hamas, because Hamas does not need to accept any terms. Hamas just needs to be annihilated. Jan, thank you so much for the support. Appreciate the support here. Angry Keyboard Warrior saying they were killed during the first ceasefire hostage release, and some leftists are still blaming Netanyahu for abandoning them. Yep, I know. I will bring those up. If we get a chance, I will show some of them, which is absolute insanity, by the way. Tori saying Golda Meir said there will be peace only when the Arabs love their children more than they hate the Jews. Yeah, and unfortunately, with the deaf cult ideology that they have, that doesn't seem possible. That doesn't happen, and it doesn't seem to be able to happen at least with this generation. Mostly. Gigi saying search language of Soviet propaganda on Quillette, podcast of easy on Soviet anti-Zionism borrowed from protocols and Joseph Goebbels. Oh, okay. So guys, if you guys want to read, look into that, just go look that up on Quillette. Anyways, thank you guys so much for the support. Let me get to this news, this reaction by Arab states that Susanna highlighted. So basically, describing this picture that you're seeing, right? So from left, leaders of Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Saudi, Kuwait, Jordan, Egypt, plus Jordanian CP and UAE NSA met in Riyadh to discuss, that's capital of Saudi Arabia, to discuss Egyptian plan for Gaza. Plan not out yet. will likely be unveiled at Cairo Arab League Emergency Summit on March 4th. Plan expected to promise enormous amount of Gulf money, up to 20 billion to Gaza. Egypt will certainly get a cut, and PA's Mahmoud Abbas will also get a bribe to buy him out of the plan. The crux of the plan is this: in return for the enormous money, and guys, by the way, this is all happening because Trump came out and said that we need to, United States is going to own Gaza. So these Gulf Arab countries are just kind of like, yo, this is insane. We need to come up with our own plan. So I mean, here's the thing: if you're anti-Trump, you could say that, like, oh, I knew Trump's plan was insane and undoable. United States cannot own Gaza. That's what would be the position, anti-Trump position. The pro-Trump position would be like, oh, look, Trump actually managed to do something that these Arab countries actually get together and come up with a way to, get, we'll see what the plan actually is. The crux of the plan is this: in return for enormous money to rebuild Gaza, both Hamas and Abbas will be out of Gaza. In their stead, a Palestinian governing body, the plan calls them technocrats, will be installed by the Arab League and put in charge of rebuilding Gaza physically and politically. This body will oversee reconstruction and make sure to keep out two things: the PA's corruption and Hamas's wars. Guys, let me know in the chat what you think about this plan. Funders, after all, want to make sure that all the billions they will invest will not be stolen or not be destroyed in yet another round of war with Israel. Who will be on the Gaza governing body to be anointed at the Arab League? Each of the leaders in the picture have Palestinians close to them. All of the leaders in the picture are on the same page against Islamism and supportive of peace, except for Qatar, the pro-Islamism and anti-peace resistance. Qatar will likely get someone on the governing body, someone who is Islamist light, who is not Hamas, but maybe Hamas likes him. Everyone is perhaps reasoning that Arab consensus is required to edge Hamas and the PA, the Palestinian Authority. So, guys, basically, what Hamas is doing is managing to get most of the Arab states united against Islamism in this region. So that's what this is what Hamas is managing to do. President Trump's Gaza plan jump-started this Arab plan for the day after in Gaza and gave it good cover. So jump-started this Arab plan for the day after. Okay, so in Gaza and gave it good cover. It scared everyone into action and gave urgency and legitimacy to the Arab plan as an alternative to the plan to displace Palestinians, right? So this plan, the urgency behind this plan is because they had to come and stop. So a lot of people who say, like, see, Trump comes and bluffs, and then all of a sudden something happens that it's in the middle. So this is what the pro-Trump crowd can say right now. Between the two plans, both Hamas and Abbas will have to accept that the Arab plan, even if they hate it. But make no mistake, both Hamas and Abbas will do all they can to derail the Arab plan and take over once they deem enough of Gaza had been reconstructed. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. Let me know what you think about this plan in the chat. And here's some reactions to it. So Dr. Einat Wilf, again, sorry if I'm mispronouncing, saying, whatever Arab plan is proposed for Gaza, it should meet three minimum requirements. All Gaza residents are erased from UNRWA rosters and Palestine refugees. 2 Arab states declared that there is no right of return into Israel. 3 Gaza residents must undergo de-radicalization education where they accept that they are not refugees and there is no return. If not, not a single dollar nor bag of cement should go in as they are guaranteed to serve the goal of a violent return, and there is no other kind. Yeah, that's true. And then Carlos here saying the Palestinians in Gaza spent 75 years building a case for the inevitability of their removal. Donald Trump is the first one prepared to accommodate them. Interesting take over there. So these are some really interesting things that okay. Susanna has found for us. Let me actually. Susanna also wanted me us to show you this. Again, this is in Arabic, but Susanna has went and found the highlight. Say, great point by this is an Arab intellectual, Hossein Abu Bakr Mansour. So Susanna is saying, great post by an Arab intellectual I really admire. Here are some of the highlights. Okay, so the highlights from this is a very long tweet posted in Arabic. So we're not going to translate and read all of it, but Susanna has found found some highlights for me to read. These are the 3 points that this Arab intellectual is making. Okay, the Palestinian national cause is in ruin beyond repair. The author reflects on once held hopes for a new Palestinian identity, confessing today those hopes have finally collapsed. Another highlight, when the kidnapping of civilians and the display of their remains before the public becomes the political currency, you are giving up whatever moral capital the so-called cause may have previously had. And then the last highlight Susanna picked for us, there should be no more independent Palestine. Let us integrate these populations into viable national frameworks, stop the cycle of violence, and finally close this chapter. So, guys, October 7th, and then this display by Hamas, or basically Gazan civilians, or whatever you want to say, I always knew that this was not a fight for Palestinians. Basically, this ended the Palestinian cause, right? Let's actually look at this one. Susanna also wanted me to highlight this. So this person saying Palestine has to die for Palestinians to live, basically. Palestine has to die for Palestinians to live. This was the comment this person posted. Wow. That's a hot take right there. What do you guys think about that? So yeah, the two-state solution, guys, is over. I hope at least. This is the end of the two-state solution. There is no Palestine. There will never be a Palestine. You guys are incapable of having a country. You have been given enough chance to be civil, to have peace, and you have demonstrated that you do not deserve to have your own country, let alone being capable of it. So fuck off with the Palestinian idea. This is the end. This is the end of. I don't want to hear the two-state solution as a solution at all. It's not a solution. No, I don't want to give monsters their own country. Like look what happens when they have their own government. Now you want to give them their own country as well? Fuck that shit. Absolutely fuck that shit. Oh, actually, speaking of the two-state solution, Susanna also wanted me to highlight these ideas of the two-state solution being over. Mark is saying, I deeply regret my decades of support for a Palestinian state under land for peace and the two-state solution. I was wrong, badly wrong. I misguided a society that prioritizes murdering Jewish children over building a better future for its own. I apologize. I apologize. This is a person that spent a lot of his advocacy for a two-state solution for the sake of peace. He's apologizing. So let's go. Mark also saying President Trump is right. There is no two-state solution with a population so radicalized and bent on murdering every Israeli. The Palestinians have forfeited any claim to a statehood. It's time to consider real solution, not fantasies. Completely agree with that. Brianna here is saying, "Oh, this pictures every time it's a stab in the heart. Every time I see these pictures." And guys, by the way, I know some of there are going to be comments by pro-Palestinians saying that, "Oh, how do these pictures hurt you?" And the pictures of Palestinians babies dying doesn't hurt you. I admitted this to Susanna, and I will admit this to you. I cried many times over the pictures of Palestinians. I watched videos of Palestinians under bombardment that I cannot show on the stream, and I cried over those. I cried like a fucking little baby watching those videos, right? But I also knew enough to curse Hamas for every single one of them every time I saw a video like that. So fuck you if you think that I don't care about those babies just because I'm showing this right now. But every single one of them, the Palestinian babies who died were murdered by Hamas. Anyways, Brianna here saying Palestinians strangled these 2 infants to death. I will never waste another breath advocating for a 2-state solution. So again, these are people who used to advocate for a 2-state solution. And again, let me actually be more in line with our chat today. I blame Hamas and the rest of civilians in Gaza who support this barbaric ideology. Just to be clear. So yeah, guys, I can tell the difference between Bollywood's videos and non-Bollywood videos, guys. The Bollywood videos are real. I know, I don't deny them. But they are so fucking pathetically easy to tell that they're fake. Okay, so it's just because we have so many fake videos that doesn't mean that there is no real videos. I can tell the difference between a real video and a fake video. They're not that good. Okay, there's a lot of them, and I've seen them, and they're pathetic and they're fake, but there's also real videos. There's also real videos, and I can tell the difference. I mean, if you bombard a population, of course you're going to have dead babies and babies losing their limbs and being burned. Of course you're going to have that. So of course there's going to be real videos. But who's to blame for that? Okay, so here's another tweet saying by a Jewish girl. So the ID says not a good Jewish girl. She's saying, I sincerely apologize to my fellow Jews for ever being so stupid as to think a 2-state solution was possible. It is not. I see it so clearly now. You cannot build peace or negotiate with evil. You can only defeat it so thoroughly it never rises again. That last line was fucking perfect. I see so clearly now. You cannot build peace or negotiate with evil. You can only defeat it so thoroughly it never rises again. And this has always been what has worked for Israel in the past. Every time Israel managed to get lasting peace is because it crushed its enemy. Every time the world or leftists in Israel pressured Israel to negotiate before crushing their enemy, it only delayed the disaster, and it gave the chance for the enemies of Israel to gain strength. Let me actually be very clear. Every time Israel crushed its enemies in battle, we had long-lasting peace as a result of it. Every time Israel was forced by its own leftists or the international community to come sit at a table and talk to evil before crushing it, evil grew stronger because it had the opportunity to grow. This is, I don't even understand why some Israelis have not seen this, because it's in their own history books. It's in their own history books. They only had to see what produced, they only had to go read what produced results. I mean, they teach this in Israeli schools. It's part of your school curriculum. You saw how you managed to get peace before. So I don't know why you fell for this. But thank you for apologizing. I mean, guys, what do you guys think? Israelis in the chat. Joshua is saying, I wholeheartedly apologize to Israelis and Jews for my long time support for a two-state solution, for failing to see it was a ruse all along, one benefiting from contribution that feed its genocidal agenda. And then we have this one showing the celebration of Hamas. Scott is saying, to ask Israel to accept a two-state solution with the people who held boisterous, am I pronouncing this right? What is this? How do you pronounce it? Baby murder parade is sheer lunacy. I should have pre-read that. So let's look at some general reactions beyond people saying no to a two-state solution. Let me actually delete all these other tabs that I have open. What do we have here? So Kamel is saying Hamas think they humiliate us, but they actually humiliate themselves and their own people. Their perverse depravity and depthless evil are on open display, and they revel in it. Hamas was not foisted on the Palestinians. It sprang from them. They are unworthy of sovereignty. Brianna here, I think this is a long one, so I'm not gonna do that one. If you guys want to read this, just we could pause here and read this in full. It seems like a very good tweet, so maybe I should read it. But let me actually do this one. Somebody, Ariel is saying, even in Nazi Germany, Germans saved Jews. Not a single Gazan saved a single hostage. Guys, this is what I've always have been saying, and some people think I was exaggerating. Hamas this is not an exaggeration. Hamas is more evil than the Nazis. And the example I give to show you, to tell people how much more, oh, hi, Nima, how much more evil Hamas is compared to the Nazis. And when I give this example, there's no it's undeniable that they're more evil. Okay, because the Nazis, when they were doing their crimes, when they had their death camps, right? They were trying to hide it from the general German population and the world. The Nazis, they recognized how evil their act was. That's why they went out of their way to hide it from the world. The general German population did not know what was happening in Auschwitz. And even the Nazis didn't know. Like, the Nazis were hiding the people responsible in the death camp were hiding what they were doing from their own family. And even from the rest of the Nazi regime. They knew the barbarity and the pure evil of what they were doing, so much so that it shouldn't get out. They recognized what they were doing was evil. Hamas There's two. Hamas on October 7th recorded what they were doing to brag about it to the whole world. Do you understand what higher level of evil we are dealing with here? Do you understand that Hamas and many Gazan civilians do not even recognize that what this is not evil? That this is evil. Not only they do not recognize that this is evil, they genuinely, again, this is not an act. This is not an act. They genuinely feel like they're doing an act of good, that they are good people for eliminating Jews in such a way. Like this, they see this and they think this is wholesome. They cry about not having the opportunity. The average person, they cry about, why was not I not given the gift of being able to get my hands on a Jew? This is a whole other level. And a lot of people think like, oh, how could you compare this? The Nazis are so much worse because of the numbers. They think the numbers of the Jews that the Nazis killed are so much more. Yeah, because they had more resources. They were more capable. They had a state and they had a country. This is why we are against a two-state solution. Because it's not for the lack of trying. The people in Gaza with the Hamas ideology, it's not, if they could kill as many Jews as Nazis did, they would. The only reason why the numbers are lower is because they're just so bad at governing and actually managing shit. The Nazis, as evil as they were, they technically were better at management. They don't have the technology, they don't have the money, they don't have the resources, they don't have the country. The Nazis had all of that. The numbers would be, give all of that to Hamas, the numbers would be more. This is what you're dealing with. This is why it's insane to suggest that we need to negotiate with these people. You're talking like who. This is basically the same people in World War II that wanted to do the strategy of appeasement with Hitler. Let me see some more posts from Susie. Hen is saying, testimony, Israeli News 12 reported a recently released female hostage was held by a father who was married to multiple wives. He was a senior. Wait, hold on. Let me see what the explanation of this is. There's a single counterpoint that I have found to this. Okay, so Susanna wanted me to include a counterpoint. Reported a recently released female hostage was held by a father who was married to multiple wives. He was a senior commander at the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. As the return hostage recounted, and was extremely violent beyond words. He turned her into a house slave. The youngest of his wives, who was in her 30s, became very attached to the hostage and protected her from the abuse inflicted by the head of the family as much as she could. She helped her and took on the chores he ordered the hostage to do. So this is Susanna's attempt and my attempt here to, even at this moment, maybe show there is some, Heavy Greta saying this story is horrifying. I mean, this woman, I mean, we could see how horrifying and nightmarish this is. Well, I don't know. Is this a bad time to also see the wife that was trying to protect that slave as a Gaza? I mean, counter to that, here's Yasmin Muhammad. Again, I cannot disagree with Yasmin here. But let's see what Yasmin has to say here. Yasmin is saying, hard for me to wrap my head around the grotesque spectacle in Gaza today, let alone find the words. Something in me broke today. My unwavering commitment to compassion and empathy, my hopeless optimism, it's all shattered. I'm done. I shared my father's voice and his wish and his desire for the world to see Palestinians are more than terrorists, but I am done now. Peaceful Palestinians have proven themselves irrelevant. Peaceful Arabs have as well, as have peaceful Muslims. You all find your voice to come together to defend nurses, admitting they kill Jewish patients, but you can't come together to condemn the kidnapping of babies. Until I hear a groundswell of condemnation as loud as your support for terrorism, I won't be playing this game any longer. I support the peaceful humans out there. Of course I do. But until you can make yourself relevant, I consider you irrelevant. So, I mean, Yasmin, I think here is saying, again, I agree with this, is saying like, okay, sure, so you exist. You exist. There are peaceful Muslims, there are peaceful Arabs, there are peaceful Palestinians, and they're there. But so fucking what? Like, what has that done for us? Like, you are irrelevant. Even if you acknowledge you are there, you exist. Good for you. Good for you. But what part of this calculation have you shown for you to be a factor? I mean, to be honest, even when we see the head of the Arab states now taking positions that might be in our benefit, it's not because this is out of geopolitical interest that has been forced upon them by proper decisions and proper strategies by Israel and others, and maybe now Trump, and also, to be honest, America as a whole in some instances. I mean, speaking of, let me get some of the let me actually do some of the horrible takes as well, now that we show some anger. This is going to be tough. So actually, let me, before I go to these horrible takes, I wanted to make sure I show the Arab nations that I was talking about. Hamas envoy update. Hold on. Where is that? Muslim, maybe that. Okay, I can't find that tweet. If I can find it, I will show it to you guys. Let me just go through these. I'm sure I will go find it once I get to it. Let me just do some bad takes first. So tell me what the problem with this tweet is. This is a tweet from Syrian girl after we saw the disgusting demonstration by Hamas. So Syrian girl came up with this hot take saying, breaking, father of Bibas family accuses Israel of killing them in Hannibal directive. So people, tell me in the live chat, what is the problem with this tweet? And I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play this video. And tell me, do you understand why I'm not playing this video? I want to see if you guys understand what's happening here. Why am I not playing this video? Yeah, so Gene is saying, yes, this is a video they forced him to do in captivity. This is a video of him while he was captive by Hamas. And guys, everybody knows this. A Syrian girl knows this. And she still posted this. This girl is evil. This fucker This girl is evil. She knows that this is a video of him while he was captive. Fucking, I have no words. I have no words. I don't know how to. There's no words to describe. And again, it wasn't. It wasn't just. Let me see. Actually, look. This tweet of her got 18,000 likes, 2.6 million views, 7,000 retweets. And this was all over. Like, look at the people. Like, a lot of people were posting this. Here's another example. This person is saying Zionist propaganda machinery is constantly blaming the death of Ariel, Bibas, and Kfir Bibas. But they will never post interview of father of Bibas family pointing out Israel for killing his children and releasing the video of the father when he was captive. Gina saying one of the first things he said when he came back is that they forced him to make the video and he doesn't know what happened to Shiri and the boys. He said that, yeah, and he's also one that told the Israeli government to go tell the world that his children were. The forensic investigation shows that his children were killed with bare hands, and then after their bodies were smashed to make it look. They smashed the dead bodies of these babies to make it look that they died under bombardment. It's fucking insane. Like, I have no words. Like, I'm keep trying to come up with ways to describe how insane this is, but I think you guys just get it. It doesn't require any of that. This woman is saying the psychological warfare is starting. Resist this Israel. You are not to blame the Palestinian terrorists. I am clubbing both professional terrorists, aka Hamas, and civilian terrorists, aka Gazans here, are squarely to blame here. Vanquish them. Okay, so hold them. So let me see. So she's trying to fight back against these tweets that people are saying. This person is saying, but Israel killed them just like Israel killed its own hostages back in October. But this is a fucking conspiracy theories that people are, after they were yelling in Hebrew. Oh yeah. So by the way, the Hannibal thing, that's whole conspiracy theory. And this one that they're saying, the only reason why they know this, that Israel made a mistake and killed some of their own people, is because Israel is honest enough to come and admit their own mistakes when it happens. The only reason why we have so many people's hands are full with criticizing Israel's over that is because Israel doesn't come and deny such things. They investigate their own and they find the mistakes and they admit it. They were yelling Hebrew and the IDF still shot them. Yeah, we know that because Israel doesn't hide away from their mistakes. Don't put the blame on, yeah, but Israel, just like we trusted Israel when they made a mistake and they came out and told us that they made a mistake, we also trust Israel when they come in and say that these children were killed by these monsters in Gaza with their bare hands. Because in fact, it is that record. In fact, it is that record. We know we can trust Israel because they never hide that. When they come and when a mistake happens and they come and tell us, this is why when they come and tell us that who killed these babies, we trust them as well because they have a record of being honest with their own citizens most of the time. And even when they weren't, Israeli investigations internally is so sophisticated and so self-critical that it will eventually come out. I'm not even going to read the rest of that fucking bullshit. Let me see this one. Saying as a responsible Israeli prime minister would have put his political survival last and the lives of hostages first, secured within 3 weeks. Instead, you left them to die and blame everyone but yourself. Fucking idiots. Like, these people want to blame Netanyahu over Hamas. You don't understand that the hostages were taken in for the survival of Hamas so that you could have more October 7th. Do you understand how difficult of a decision this is to make? these people make it sound like it's easy. Is anybody who's blaming anybody but Hamas at this moment is fucking either an idiot or a monster. Let's look at what this guy is saying here.
Let me repeat.
Hold on. Let's play this.
Okay, I'm just going to get straight to it. These two babies, Ariel and Kfir Bibas, and their mother Shiri, were killed by Israel. Let me repeat. These two Bibas babies and their mother were killed by Israel. Did you hear me? Why am I emphasizing this? Because now that the resistance announced that this Saturday they will be returning the bodies of the killed Bibas family, along with 6 other prisoners of war, the Zionists and Israelis are going into their typical desperation, hasbara, and propaganda mode that the Western news media eats up, attempting to, 1, try and lie about who killed these babies, and 2, even more pathetically, some are going as far as to try and make it seem like they are still alive, playing on the IOF lie that they cannot confirm nor deny their death because the IOF, in fact, killed them, so that when their bodies are handed over, it becomes a big propaganda story that they were just killed by Hamas. What everyone tends to forget is that Palestinians are the best at keeping receipts. Here's a timeline of events for you. Israel bombs the hostages and killed these two babies and their mother. Hamas immediately issues a statement that this happened back on November 29th, 2023. That's over 14 months ago. Hamas then offered to provide their bodies to the family for a proper burial. On January 12th, 2023, Israel ignored this, to avoid confirming the deaths of these babies, as Israel never gave a flying shit about them other than to posterize them and make them into a marketing campaign to continue the Holocaust in the entirety of Gaza. Don't think for one second that the Palestinian resistance wouldn't have just as easily put a bullet into those prisoners of war who were IOF soldiers that killed babies that they released back to Israel before killing a baby. Do you understand that logic? Even their father, who was clearly pissed off about all of this, made a video admitting that Netanyahu and Israel bombed and killed his family. Here's the video.
I'm not going to play this video again. I refuse to play this video because this was taken under pressure. Fucking monster. Are you fucking kidding me? And again, now that the forensic investigation has came out, we know that they killed them with their own bare hands. This is fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. And guys, I don't know if you want to be on the side of Israel should have negotiated this earlier, or know that they made the correct decision to continue attacking Hamas. Whatever side you're on this, you are fucking insane if you think that they made this decision lightly to make it seem like the Israeli government doesn't care about the hostages. Do you understand that the survival of Hamas would have meant that more October 7th? The whole point. Do you understand why we have this principle called we don't negotiate with them? They're acting like Hamas was so reasonable. Oh, so reasonable. Like, oh, they were offering to release them. What the fuck are you talking about? These are terrorists. The reason why we refuse to negotiate with terrorists is because we're gonna have more terrorism. Do you understand how complicated, how difficult of a balancing act this is for any government would have been in power to try to you have the family of these people desperately wanting their loved one back, and everybody could sympathize with them. And at the same time, you have the understanding that negotiating with them at that point would have meant that they get another chance to do another October 7th at that point. Whatever you think was the right decision was, don't fucking pretend that this was easy, that you would have done better. This man is a fucking liar, and especially now that we know how they died. And do I need to say more about this person other than the fact that one of his evidence was the video of the father, not even mentioning? Like, look at the level of dishonesty, because we know, like, this is not hidden information that video was taken when he was in captivity under Hamas. We know that. And as soon as he's released, he comes and says, like, yeah, I was pressured to say that. And he uses it as evidence without even mentioning it. Look at the level of passion that he demonstrates, and this convinces a whole bunch of people. This is absolute scum. This is not out of ignorance. This is out of being evil, because the information I'm giving you is these people are following all of this every fucking second. So he knows this. He knows that the evidence he provided was not actual evidence. Look, the caption here saying Ariel Bibas, Kfir Bibas, and their mother Shiri were killed by Israeli occupation forces. The Western media and Zionists will try hard to put the blame on Hamas, fucking Hamas sympathizer, to hide their demonic act of killing their own people. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Seriously. Absolutely. By the way, this is not the same guy. This guy is actually famous. He took it from his social media. By the way, them being so-called good note keepers regarding the dead, we have actual UN investigations that shows that Hamas has exaggerated the number of children dying. Like even UN has investigations that shows that. So that's fucking bullshit as well. I mean, if the UN admits that, then I don't even know. Look at this. So many people are saying the same thing on Twitter. Look, no, they didn't. They held them. Oh, so the Hamas was just holding them to exchange for hostages. Hostages Israeli held. Oh, we didn't wish harm on this baby. We were just holding them to release all our hostages. You mean your criminals? You mean your terrorists? So like they held them to exchange with hostages Israeli held. They offered to exchange them on October 9th. Netanyahu refused. The father confirmed Israeli bombed, killed them. The father, again, referring to this video. Fucking unfucking believable. They keep using this as evidence. Yeah, Heavy Griddle was saying, man, people really love blaming Jews for their own victimization. Exactly. This narrative is all over, like the resistance, the pro-Palestinian people are going out. This is such a this is the way that they're trying to get away with this, right? Because this is becoming so costly to the so-called resistance that this is the narrative that they're going around. So I need people on this stream to understand what has happened, because they are trying to this is a huge devastation for their cause. It's becoming so costly for their cause that they're trying to win it back like this. And it's your job. Okay, this is, don't just like, it's not like, oh, Armin, you have a YouTube channel, you should be doing this. No, you should be doing this. You should be on social media. You should be in these people's comment section. Okay, it's all of you. Okay, we are all content. Just you don't have to have a YouTube channel to be a content creator. If you go and leave comments on the social media in response to these, you are also a content creator. It's your job to go and correct this. So this is what I was looking for. I finally found it. So Yuri is saying, real Arabs are starting to speak up. Never thought I'd see the day. So let's see what he's responding to. And also Sarah sent me this as well. So we have on the left, we have Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Abdullah al-Sheikh. How many sheikhs does he have in his name? Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia. So Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia is one of the highest religious authorities that you could have in Saudi Arabia, right? So he mentioned what we saw today in Gaza is a disgrace to Islam and an act of blasphemy against Allah, right? So first of all, I could tell you, let me actually read the second one and then I will tell you my take on it. The guy on the right is Ahmed al-Haddad, Grand Mufti of the UAE. So again, basically we have the highest religious authority in Saudi Arabia, and one of the highest, and also one of the highest, or if not the highest religious authority in the UAE. This man is saying Hamas has brought shame on Islam on a level never seen before. And this was both of them was in response to the what Hamas did with the bodies of the Bibas family. Right? And Jean is saying they held a moment of silence to the Bibas family in the Arab conferences in Riyadh. So what do you guys think about this? First of all, I do not like these people. I do not agree with their opinion regarding Islam. And at the same time, this is submission. I do not believe in them having good intentions or saying these things out of their kindness of their hearts. I think this is just Israel crushing enemies to the point that, again, this is just Israel becoming victorious. This is a sign of Israel's victory, even if I do not like these people and I do not agree with their takes. So let me tell you what I mean. So when this man says, what we saw today is in Gaza is a disgrace to Islam. Islam is pure disgrace. Okay, Islam is a disgrace to itself. This is not something within Islam that makes Islam look bad. Islam is bad in its very essence, by its nature. So I completely disagree with that. What's happening in Gaza is because of Islam. And it says an act of blasphemy against Allah. No, it's not an act of blasphemy against Allah. This is actually completely in accordance with Islamic teaching. Okay, so I completely disagree with this. And I also completely think that this man is representing not what, when he's saying this, is not representing a charitable good take because he's just being a good, decent human being. Okay, what he's saying is a demonstration of the superiority of liberal countries, especially Israel in that region, for these more backward countries with backward ideas and inferior cultures, realizing that for them to have any chance of success and relevance and prosperity and stability, they have to bend the knee and accept the way. They accept the correct path. Or else they're reading the writing on the wall, realizing that they are going to go extinct if they do not adapt, if they do not submit. That's what's happening here. And also this other person is saying Hamas has brought shame on Islam on a level never seen before. This is the power of money and economy. This is why I'm always saying capitalism is a force for good, because these people are saying these things because to bring investments. When economies grow, when you have prosperity, you get the focus of a nation. You change the focus of the nation from afterlife, from a shadowy world out there, from fantasy world, from a la la land, to actually this world. This is the power of capitalism and economic prosperity. When people get a taste of this world, they want more of it. And to get more of it, you need stability, you need peace, you need to actually have strategies that are based on this world rather than the next one. This is these people not showing the true face of Islam. This is actually these people moving away from Islam for the sake of power, for the sake of economic prosperity, for the sake of stability. They have to give up martyrdom, give up the afterlife, and fall in line with other countries that are trying to make better the lives of people in this world, because their interests are in line with that, right? And this is how we win, not just by winning in battle, but also winning in the market, and also winning in the hearts and minds of people who just want to live. right? So I do not like these people. I do not congratulate these people, but I welcome this direction. I want more of this, even if it's fucking bullshit. It's an admission of defeat. This is a good sign. This is a good sign. Let me know what you guys think about this. And also, before leaving, because the stream is getting too long, I just want to make sure that I tell you that the Iranian people are there with you. Let me actually have this one as well, right? So many Iranian people came out and showed their support for Israelis. And I think the best one to highlight is Prince Reza Pahlavi's comment. Reza Pahlavi said, Hamas's a murder of innocent child hostages and its twisted games with their families once again show that it just like its masters in Tehran, which is a good reminder here, cannot be a partner for peace. I express my sincere condolences to the Bibas family and reiterate that until the Islamic Republic's reign of terror is brought to an end, no Iranian or Israeli will be safe. Gene is saying the Iranian people are the biggest source of support I personally had in this year. Awesome. That means a lot that you said that, Gene. It really does mean a lot that you said that. Thank you. I really hope that we could end this nightmare together, the Iranian people and the Israeli people. And also, a friend of mine, in response to Reza Pahlavi, Ariel posted this picture of an Iranian woman and Israeli woman hugging. This Iranian woman has a picture of Reza Pahlavi. I should retweet this, by the way. Okay, so I just want you to, Israeli people, to know, I know that many Iranian people see your pain, and I know it's hard to believe, but they understand it because they can relate to it, because they have paid many of them have paid the same price from the same source of evil. If there's anybody in the world other than your fellow Israelis that can understand the nightmare that you're experiencing right now from this evil, is the Iranian people, because they share the same enemy with you. And I think together we will one day defeat this enemy together. Okay. I just want to thank Susanna, but let me actually respond to your comments as well. Thank you guys for the super chat. Flying Robot Duck is saying, if an IDF soldier deliberately unalived an unarmed Palestinian, Israel would arrest them, but Hamas strangles babies and is cheered by Palestinians. Perfectly put. Perfectly put. I don't have anything else to add. Thank you. Thank you. That was perfectly put. Thank you for the support. And Amit was also saying, he was talking about the music. Which one? Oh, the music. Okay. Sorry, I read this late. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Thank you, Amit, for the support. Sarah, again, as I also want to thank Sarah and Susanna for helping me find all the stuff to share with you guys. And also Sarah started some comments for me to read. Kimba saying, and I don't believe Hamas did it. Either Israel are lying or it's by third party. Hamas would not do this, especially the Qassam brigades, which guys, that's the military arm of Hamas. They are trained and disciplined. You're fucking lost it. I mean, Kimba, you're so too far gone. You have no idea what you're talking about. You don't understand Hamas. I've been following these motherfuckers for years. You have no idea what Hamas is like. The people who did October 7th, who recorded their killing of children to brag about the whole world. This person is saying that they are incapable of this. What the fuck are you talking about? Unfucking believable. They brag about You have no fucking idea. These are people within Gaza. Where have you been? Within Gaza, we see children, educational videos talking about killing Jews, all Jews, and celebrating it. We see mothers crying over the honor of having a son that had managed to kill Jews, even after their son died. What the fuck are you talking about? We have so many years of videos from the things that people say in Gaza, from the propaganda they produce, from the educational children's videos that they create to brainwash the children. Like, how do you live in a parallel world? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, where do you live? Are you being honest? Are you this deluded to think that this is anything other than the nature of Hamas? Am I misunderstanding this person? You're insane. I mean, you're too far gone. Why am I wasting my time talking to people like this? Brandon's saying you're complaining about one baby, yet all the Palestinian children and babies that have been killed by Israel, and we hear crickets from you. You are a joke. Brandon, you are a fucking joke because I was not quiet about that. In fact, I have lost many supporters for not being quiet about that. Brandon Hernandez, I want this to be, I hope that's your real name because I want this to be recorded here, how fucking moronic you are. Because you assume something, you didn't see my other streams, you haven't seen my other shows. I, on purpose, made streams about those very children that you're talking about, knowing that I would lose support and subscribers of this channel. The only difference between you and me is that I blame Hamas for their death. So imagine what big of a joke you are, how embarrassing this is for you, not knowing that it's not true. You hear crickets from me? No, I actually spoke up about that. I cried over those children dying. I just know who killed them. You don't. Hamas killed those babies. They said, they made it clear that they went, that the purpose, the intention behind October 7th was for Israel to come and bombard these Palestinian children because the Hamas and others like them in Gaza want to use Palestinian blood to get the world to hate Israel. That was the fucking plan. So no, I actually have been speaking about them more than other pro-Israeli channels. So fuck you. Who's a joke now? Stephanie saying, yes, correct. And coffins were filled with Hamas propaganda. Fuck. Are you guys, is that true? I don't know. I haven't verified this. Was the coffins filled with Hamas propaganda? Why is this keep getting more and more nightmarish? What the fuck? By the way, I'm so over like trying to make some people like that to understand. Like sometimes they're still making arguments like the person before Stephanie who's like I don't think these people want to understand. I think these people are such like the level of anti-Jewish hatred had made them so blind that they're not even worth talking to. I don't know. And it's interesting to see how desperately they're trying to win back all their arguments because everything they try to make people hate Israel more than Hamas, it's all gone. It's going out. Like they're losing it. And I think they're going around and desperately trying to win it back, but it's over. And I knew that I knew your so-called victory would have been short-lived. Angry Keyboard Warrior saying, is everyone celebrating here a legitimate military target in your opinion? No. if it was, Israel would have bombarded that event. They didn't. Every time, and that's not what I. Every time Israel uses a bomb, it's not because hatred for the people who are demonstrating. Like basically, Israel itself has had a very good standard. If you're saying that area not being bombardment because it's not a legitimate military target. Every time you see a bombardment, the vast majority of the time, that was a legitimate military target. Israel has a very good standard. So if you see it being bombed, then it is a legitimate military target most likely, and if it's not, then it's not. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but you're saying, I hope that Israelis learned the lesson and will stop helping those on I don't know how to pronounce it, demonic Islamic monsters. In this undespicable demonic Islamic monsters. I think Israelis on average understand things better than most people around the world. Woke trans fat is saying, ACS Iranian, you will lose potentially large portions of your country. You have been warned. Israel is not your friend. Israel is definitely our friend. You have no fucking idea. You're just believing conspiracy theories, thinking Israel is trying to come. And if Iran ever gets torn into pieces, the only entity that I would blame would be the Iranian regime, not Israel. Noam is saying Shiri was missing for another day because they brought the wrong body. Yes, guys, I forgot to mention that to you. So this is also a violation of the agreement. Hamas actually didn't bring the mother, Shiri. The body that they returned, they investigated it. It's actually not her. So they actually didn't return the body of Shiri. Thank you for reminding me to mention that. Nina is saying, I still want to know the unknown Gazan woman who was swapped with Mama Bibas. Wouldn't be surprised if she was against Hamas. Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to speculate such thing. Ronak is saying, how dumb can you be? Amazes me every time. I offer to talk to and explain what and how and who are the Palestinians, but you think you already know. Well, I mean, if this is the way you want to, maybe the reason why I'm ignoring, first of all, I don't even know who you are, and this is the first time I'm seeing your comment. I think you think too much of yourself. Do you think that I would have remembered you? I don't even know who you are, and this is the first. Like, maybe I saw your comment before. You're a person in live chat. How could I even remember who you are, right? So I think you think too much of yourself. But also, maybe if I ever decided not to talk to you, maybe because the way you talk means like you're not somebody worth talking to. Like, why would I invite somebody who talks to me like that? What the fuck? Also, BGC, thank you so much for this support. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for your help. And again, thank you, everyone. Let me see. Did I forget to heart this? No, I hearted this. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Susanna. Thank you to Sarah. And guys, please like the stream. I need more people to see this. I think we have we do a very good job here on this channel to put everything in perspective, and I think we paint a more of a complete picture than many other channels, and especially because I do it with you guys in the live chat, and you guys help me out, correct me, and if there's anything I'm missing, you guys always are here to fill in the gaps, especially today, Jean and Sarah and the rest of you. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And also, as another special guys, thank you to Susanna. Please, guys, also if you're leaving a comment, most of the content I had here today was prepared by Susanna, and also Sarah sent me a whole bunch of stuff as well. So please mention them in the comment section, thanking them. Susanna spent a long time basically organizing a Google Doc for me for everything that I need to show you. Okay, so she did a lot of the work behind the scenes, right? So thank you to Susanna. And again, guys, please recommend this channel. We really need this channel to grow. Go and advertise that. Tell people to come and subscribe to Atheist Republic on YouTube. And if you're watching this later, please don't leave without liking, okay? And maybe also leave a comment to help grow this channel. Sorry about the news being so, I don't know. I'm just gonna go. Thank you, guys, and hope to see better days. Hope to see better days. I'm Israel Kai.